Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're doing well. Having a really great day. Well, my internet went down in my mining location here, and we just got out of a live stream actually, and you guys saw that all of my mining rigs were offline, and actually it wasn't because of the power, it's because of the internet. And so I thought, you know, this would be a good time to implement a router for my mining rigs that are down here. All of my mining that I'm going on down in the basement right now is connected to another router, like the ISP provided router that is shared amongst everyone else that's in this house, okay, including also another tenant, another renter. And so everyone is under one DHCP right now, including my mining rigs. So that's terrible. Okay, first off, I'm a terrible networking person, and you know what happens when you have everything all in one subnet, and that really opens up a lot of potential, you know, vulnerabilities or exploits that could be injected, or hackers going into your mining rigs, or vice versa to the people that live here. You know, my HiveOS rigs or whatever other operating system I use could be compromised in some way, or the people that live here, you know, their desktop or laptop or whatever they're using could compromise my mining rigs here as well. So what I want to do is separate everything, okay? Basically everything that I have mining in my basement here, I want to have it behind another router that will provide IP addresses. And also another benefit is I want to do is have a VPN, a router wide VPN that will then tunnel all the traffic, okay, all the, you know, mining pool, hash rate, you know, all the accepted shares, rejected, whatever, going to the mining pool will then be going through a VPN. Granted, that's going to cause some latency issues depending which VPN provider I use, but at least I will then be separated fully in a way from the home network, from the people that live here. So I want to have all that separated just by having a separate router. So I have a very special router here. Okay, this is not just a Linksys WRT 900 ACS. I've actually had this for a while. It's been sitting in the box, but this is a specific one I bought through Flash routers. Okay, and this one here is where it already comes pre-loaded with OpenWRT. OpenWRT is an open source router software that you can load on, you know, Linksys routers like this. You know, it's very popular, and it comes with the antennas and stuff. But the biggest thing is that this is supported to have, you know, OpenVPN or VPN client support, so that it's router wide. So anything that you plug in that goes through this router, let's say your mining rigs, you know, laptop, whatever, phone, if you're connected through Wi-Fi. I'm probably going to disable Wi-Fi because I already have an access point, so I'm going to set that up in this video. But I want to have it, you know, everything separated. But Flash routers, okay, this is not a sponsored video, but I do have an affiliate link down below. If you guys do choose to purchase one of these, you know, to do what I'm doing today, is really a couple easy steps to connect this router to your existing setup, just to basically have, you know, another way, another defense essentially than the home ISP router right now that's being utilized, okay? That's the whole point for why I want to have this down here. I wanted to set this up like maybe like a year ago. I just never gotten around to it, and so yeah, it's now time I get this set up, okay? So right now, the way my internet goes is into this 24 port network switch, okay? So this cable here goes all the way into this room here, because I had to drill through the crawl space from the home ISP router, right? The provided ISP router that goes upstairs, comes down here. I do have another switch that goes here, okay? So this cable goes to my mining shelf that I just showed you guys, goes to here. So I'm gonna be plugging this guy in, and this black cable is gonna go into the WAN port. All right, this yellow one here. And then this cable will go into one of these ports here, and then I can also put another cable, or no, actually, I could probably keep everything as is. I'll just have another like short cable that goes from the blue one here, number 1, to number 1 here, because this WAN is going to be into this one. So all the DHCP, all the IP addresses will go from out of here into whatever device I plug into this switch, or the other switch, okay, which is on the mining shelf right there. So yeah, some of you guys may be asking, Red Panda, why do I have to use, you know, something like Flash routers? And no, you don't need to use one of these things, okay? I'm just using this because I bought one a while ago and I just never set it up. And you know, I thought to myself, hey, I want to see if this is pretty easy to set up. And by the looks of it, it is. Okay, it should be pretty easy. But you can buy other routers yourself. You don't have to buy this Flash Routers router already pre-configured with OpenWRT. I mean, you can go on Amazon and buy like a $50, $60 router, like a Ubiquiti Edge Router X or something, and it'll do the exact same thing essentially. Maybe a little bit slower depending on the processor on the router. But you know, some of you may ask, RedPanda, what about like ASUS or D-Link or Netgear or TP-Link? You know, there's plenty of those types of routers out there as well, and yeah, there are. But a lot of those are limited in a way where they don't have VPN client support. Okay, so you can't then put a router-wide VPN on your router so that all the clients will then go through that. Okay, so, and especially another thing to consider is a lot of those home routers like ASUS or Linksys, even Netgear, TP-Link, a lot of them could have potential exploits and vulnerabilities. If you go to cvedetails.com, this is a common website to look at any vulnerabilities or exploits, and CVE means common vulnerability exposures. And basically, you know, like if you search up ASUS, for instance, there's been a few exploits out there, depending what router model you have, and like, you know, Netgear has a lot of exploits as well. D-Link, of course, Linksys, even OpenWRT, which is the open source firmware, has exploits as well. But depending if there is firmware updates to patch those vulnerabilities or exploits, begs the question. You're gonna have to look, you know, on the ASUS website, on the Netgear website, on the, you know, whatever brand router you have. Always make sure you update to the latest firmware, because there could be a patch for those exploits that, you know, in case hackers can, you know, sniff through or get through your router somehow because there is an open some port or something or vulnerability of some sort, and they're gonna get into your network. So really, nothing is sound. Even this, you know, this flash routers that I got here, even though it's a Linksys 1900, this is a pretty baller router. Okay, seriously, this is really nice. Anything could really have, you know, vulnerabilities and exploits out there. So just be safe. Make sure you update your hardware, especially at home. And, you know, you just want to safeguard yourself as much as you can, because you never know if someone's going to come in or not. So that's why I am wanting to do this way, okay? So as all of the traffic that's coming out of my mining rigs right now, it's going to a lot of different mining pools, right? I'm pinging my WAN IP that's in this, you know, location, in my ISP location here, static IP, or no, sorry, it's DHCP, but still, you know, that is going out into the world and into many mining pools. And what if one of those mining pools gets hacked? And, you know, it's gathering all that info, and it's gonna see where, you know, those mining rigs were mining from, you know, from here. So in a way, having this to mask the traffic that's going to a VPN, okay, another server that's outside of my location here, and it's gonna then have wherever I'm mining to, like a mining pool, it's gonna see that IP address, not my IP address here. The VPN server IP is gonna be the IP that the mining pool will see, and not my home address here, if that makes sense. Anyways, guys, I'm just rambling, but I really wanted to just hone in on that type of information for anyone understanding. I know networking, IT security, it's not my bread and butter at all. I know a little bit, but this is something where, yeah, I should have really done this a long time ago, but, you know, maybe I could help someone out there to help them understand a little bit more, just have a little bit more security in a way, just having another line of defense at home, having a router that's separated from everyone else at home, right? That's basically why I'm doing this. So let's set this up. I'm just gonna plug in the power. Okay, so it does come with the power adapter for this Linksys router, baller Linksys router. Plug this into the power bar. Okay, yeah, there's a power switch here. I'm gonna turn it on here. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's just turning on now. What I'm gonna do is, since I don't have internet anyway, I'm gonna take out the WAN that goes to the IP, the ISP provided router, okay, just as a LAN. So this is gonna get a WAN IP address of the DHCP on the other home router. Okay, so this one I am going to plug in into the WAN port here. Okay, so that's on. Then I'm gonna need to get just a short cable that's gonna go into port number 1 from the LAN. And you know what? I will then use this desktop to access this. Hopefully, I guess what this is pre-configured. It says to use the there's a phone app actually to connect to it. Also to set up the VPN provider, all that stuff. You know, I'm just gonna go through all that. Now, you know what? I'm gonna bring you guys along for the ride here. So, okay, I plugged in port 1 and port 1 on the Linksys router here. So the WAN is this red one, and then the LAN is going to be this white one here. Okay, so all the IP addresses, DHCP, that's being pushed out from this router is going to go through this switch and then out to the other switch where my mining rigs are. Okay, so we just did, just show you guys here, I did an IP config / release because this computer that's here, it had already an IP address from the other network. So I'm gonna do now an IP config / renew, and that should essentially give me an IP address hopefully to this router, because this computer is plugged into this switch, one of these network cables. So yeah, we did get an IP address. Okay, so 192.168.11.119, and my home, the ISP provided router that goes up into the next room upstairs is I think 10.100 or 10.10 or something. So different subnet, which is good, So now I'm gonna see if I can log into the gateway, default gateway 192.168.11.1. Okay, so let's do that. 192.168.11.1. So that's flash routers provided. Oh, so there we go. Oh, it's DD-WRT. It's not OpenWRT. So I screwed that up. But hey, this is cool though. This is, I guess, almost the same thing. So I'm in here now, and I just want to go to services. And looks like there is a login and password for this, which is flash router and then DD-WRT. Let me see if that works. Yes, that worked. Okay, so alright, this looks like it's got a lot of different services, but here's the VPN one. Okay, so it's got PPTP client, OpenVPN, which is really good, OpenVPN client, yes. This is where the good stuff happens. Okay, but apparently you can set it up through their app. Flash router privacy app, connect to the VPN. Okay, so I might try that with my phone maybe. But anyways, you can enter the cert, the public cert, private client key. Yeah, it's got all that. So that's wow, that's really cool. DD-WRT.com. All right, this is really cool. It's got NAT too. It's got USB NAS, ad blocking, speed checker, free radius, DHCP client. Yeah, all that stuff. It's got Wi-Fi on this, obviously. I'm probably not going to use that because I have my own Ubiquity AP. And yeah, wow, this is really cool. I've never used this before, so this is really sweet. There's a setup automatic DHCP for the WAN and our router IP, DHCP server network. Okay, so this is where my mining rigs will get this DHCP range. Okay, so we can even change this if we wanted to. You know, change the DNS. It looks like we got, I think this is the Google DNS here. Is this Open DNS? This might be a different DNS server. But anyways, really cool, really cool. All right, so the biggest thing though, what I want to get working is the VPN. Okay, so I'm gonna get this working and see if my I guess my mining rigs will, like my Hive OS or something for instance, is gonna see the whatever VPN setup I'm gonna use for OpenVPN client for the router wide VPN. Okay, so I will be right back. Let me set that up. Okay, I ran into a little issue. The app, I don't know. I think it's because this is like a year old. It doesn't seem to load up this app anymore. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do this manually under the VPN services here. And I'm gonna have to do OpenVPN client, and I'm gonna have to change all this myself, okay? Add in all this stuff here. I realize this router is, or DD-WRT, first time using it, it's pretty powerful. It's got IP forwarding, UPnP, port triggering, IP forwarding, port range forwarding. It's got a lot of pretty cool stuff. There's no VLANing. I didn't see any VLANing support in here, but other than that, this is all we need. But I did see on my OpenVPN firmware download here that I can open the VPN information here and copy and paste that into the OpenVPN client for this DD-WRT router. And even, yeah, ExpressVPN also has the setup tutorial on how to set up ExpressVPN on your DD-WRT router for OpenVPN. So that it's all here, pretty self-explanatory. And yeah, if you guys are gonna do this as well, I just wanted to show you guys this. Okay, so let me do all this. Okay, I got it to work. OpenVPN is now connected for my whole router wide for all of my mining rigs. Okay, this is the DHCP range. All right, that's allowed for, I guess, all my Octaminers, everything that got plugged in, ASICs, whatever. And it looks like it's going good. All the traffic that's coming from these Octaminers, all my mining rigs, they're going through the tunnel now, and I can prove that. So what is my IP now? Ooh, I'm gonna show you guys my public IP. No, this is the public IP of ExpressVPN in Seattle somewhere. There are hundreds of different VPN servers you can use. I'm using ExpressVPN. I'm not sponsored by them. You guys can use other ones here, but this is just what I had, and I selected Seattle, and it seemed to work. Okay, so make sure you follow this guide to a T. If you decide to do this, there's a lot of settings you have to follow. And every single input, every number you put in counts, okay? I had issues for the past hour. I missed the port. I forgot the wrong port, even though it was entered like 1194. Instead, it's supposed to be 1195 according to ExpressVPN. And then they didn't specify that, but I read that after the fact. And then tunnel, UDP, you gotta make sure all these settings are correct, and as well as you gotta input the certificate. Okay, so certificate is where you gotta enter in all the, here as well, there's additional config you have to enter in along with the keys and certificate. Okay, you have to follow this to a T, no spaces, nothing like that. You gotta make sure you copy and paste from the CA cert, which you will be able to download from whichever location you download the, whichever location you want to come out of for your static IP. Okay, so it's not your static. Well, I mean, essentially it is, because that's where all the traffic is coming out of, right? It's masking your traffic through any of their servers that they have. So if I go to my Hive OS, for instance, right now, look at that. My public IP is this 132, right? That's not my IP here where I am at home. It's this is the ExpressVPN server. Okay, VPN server. So that's what the mining pool will see as we are mining, okay, which is great, which is exactly what I wanted, right? It kind of, masks the IP, so you're kind of safeguarded in a way. Again, if the mining pool gets hacked or somebody's trying to do some nefarious things to your Hive OS rig, hacks into your Hive OS account, I don't know, different things like that. I'm gonna have to change this after this video. Not like I don't think anyone's gonna get in through the ExpressVPN servers, but anyways, there's many servers I will be able to choose from to, yeah, I mean, if you guys do this as well, it's just, to have a router-wide VPN server. This is just great. It's, everything is now going through the tunnel, okay, which is masking the home IP of the ISP initially that I have here. That's on the WAN of the provided ISP router, Internet Service Provider router. Now that I have a secondary router here that has the VPN all set up, all the traffic is going through that tunnel. All the mining hash rate that's going all to different mining pools, whatever coin that I'm mining is now being masked utilizing the VPN. This is a great line of defense essentially, and yeah, just to safeguard your mining rigs. I don't know how many times I can say that. But anyways, guys, that's it. Check out flashrouters.com. I'll have a link down below if you guys are interested. If you want to buy one of the routers, or alternatively, okay, you don't need to buy any of these routers actually. I saw, since this is WRT, DD-WRT, you can actually go to the router database. Some of you may have already, some routers at home, like Asus, D-Link, Netgear. Go to their website here and you can click on the model, see if your model is supported for DD-WRT. If it is, you can then download DD-WRT for your router. okay, if you are comfortable in, you know, flashing it and just getting it all set up that way. Okay, so then you don't need to spend any money. You can then, you know, just set up your own DD-WRT with OpenVPN. Okay, this gives you support for all that. You know, if you have different Linksys routers, different models out there, and you can essentially be supported in that regard. Not all is supported, but just go to the router database under support and see if you can download the factory file DD-WRT for your router, and then, you know, install the router-wide VPN for all of your mining rigs. Okay, all right guys, I feel much better now. I feel much better. Everything, all the mining devices are now going through my DD-WRT router, through that Linksys router, and yeah, I'm super happy about it. All right guys, go check out the links down below if you are interested. You don't have to, but if you are worried about your privacy, your, you know, just your IP address may be, you know, a way for hackers to come in, you don't want to do that. In a way, you also want to separate your mining rigs from your home. For anyone that has other devices around the network, you don't want it sniffing those devices, those desktops, whatever, laptops, phones. You want to keep it all separate. So all my mining now is essentially all, I would say, isolated in this router alone, going through a VPN tunnel. That's it, nothing else. No one can talk into it from the outside, from my other network, from the other ISP provided network. It's totally separated. All right, let me know what you guys think. I will see you all in the next video. You guys have a great one. Have a good one. Peace out.